Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. My name's Don Arleth, and you're watching World News, coming to you live from Warsaw. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte will call for a 400% increase in air and missile defense spending from the alliance's member states. Reports are coming out that Rutte will call for this significant expansion of NATO defense efforts during his London address on Monday, detailing the need for member states to allocate more financial backing to air and missile defense specifically. During his visit, the Secretary General will meet with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and the Secretary of State for Defense, John Healey. This development comes as the United States is pushing for the remaining alliance members to increase their defense spending to 5% of their respective GDP. Currently, Poland spends 4.7% of its GDP for defense, the highest in the alliance. China says if we really want to hurt you, we will have ways to do it. So please don't make us do so, says Tomasz Lewandowski, managing partner at EU Strategies, discussing growing complexity of EU-China trade relations. Lewandowski explained how China's strategic moves, such as its recent rare earths export licensing system, demonstrate its significant power to impact both the United States and European interests.
The Chinese have been very sort of savvy and very smart in the way they plan their economy and the way they plan their dealings with the world. And if we look at exactly what China's been doing in the last couple of years, it's been signaling and picking a number of points where it can hit both American but as well as European interests. You know, the rare earths development is a perfect one. It was, let's recall, it wasn't an action against the EU, it wasn't an action against the US, it was just a new export licensing system that China has developed that led to some bottlenecks and constraints in Chinese exports of rare earths to the world. But what did it actually accomplish? It showed both Europe and the US how powerful China can be if it wants to, because a minor bottleneck basically hit both the EU and the US very powerfully. We have a number of trade investigations in China on pork, on brandy, which is also, it just signals to the Europeans, look, if we really want to hurt you, we have the ways to do it, so please don't make us do that to you, basically.
According to senior lawmakers from German Chancellor Friedrich Merz's party, the country may need to institute compulsory military service to replenish the shrinking numbers in the armed forces. The statement comes as the German government prepares legislation to revitalize the German army.
According to Thomas Erndl from the Christian Democrats, if the personnel needs for the army cannot be met through voluntary service, the country will have to add compulsory elements. He also highlighted a specific provision in the coalition agreement between the Christian Democrats and the Social Democratic Party. The document states service in the revived military will initially be voluntary. So far, the draft legislation is expected to include a limited registration process aimed at identifying potential voluntary recruits. The move is aimed at encouraging people to sign short-term contracts with the German military. Meanwhile, the German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius has ruled out return to mandatory military service.
At least one person was injured in Russia's latest mass attack on Ukraine, which saw dozens of drones launched towards cities across the country in the early hours of Monday morning. The mass strike comes shortly after Russia launched 452 drones and 45 missiles at Ukraine on June 6th. During a single night in one of the largest aerial attacks in the conflict.
Explosions were reported during the night in Rivne and Kyiv, where officials report that an office building had been damaged in the attack. One civilian was injured in Rivne. Emergency responders continue to work at this scene, and the full aftermath of the attack is still being evaluated. According to a report by Reuters, the US expects Russia to increase the intensity of its air offensive in the coming days, focusing on high-value government sites such as intelligence facilities as part of its asymmetrical response to Operation Spider's Web.
And on the flip side, at least 2 Ukrainian drones hit a facility comprising of an electronic plant and an oil refinery in Chuvashia, some 1,300 kilometers inside Russian territory. The attack is one of Ukraine's deepest strikes into Russia since the start of the war. Czechoslovakia Governor Oleg Nikolayev has reported that no one was harmed in the attack. However, work was halted at the facility out of caution. According to the Russian Ministry of Defense, 2 Ukrainian drones were shot down in the Czechoslovakia region. The Ukrainian military says the attack sparked a large-scale fire at the plant. The facility specializes in manufacturing navigation equipment used in guided aerial bombs, high-precision weapons, and Shahed drones. The only thing that Russia understands is force, and so showcasing your capabilities can act as a deterrent. That's how retired Colonel Zdzisław Śliwa from the Baltic Defense College assesses Poland's readiness to face a potential conflict with Moscow, calling escalation unlikely for now.
Poland is currently building significant military capabilities. We are talking not only about numbers, but also modernization of Polish armed forces. Poland is ready. Poland will not step back in any sense. And we have already new divisions we are creating on the eastern border. We have also Polish units facing Kaliningrad. So definitely Poland is ready, will be ready, because there is no other choice. Show of force is what Russia is understood only. If you present capabilities, you present readiness, it is impacting the deterrence effect. This is what is going in Poland. Of course, it takes time. We should be fully aware that buying equipment is not like going to shopping mall to buy. It takes time. Also, training of troops to be ready to use those in the case of any need. So Poland will be ready, will face it, but of course we should understand that as long as Russia is fully involved in Ukraine, Russia will not be ready to attack.
According to findings in the French press, the country's leading automaker will manufacture drones in Ukraine. Renault will partner with a French defense company to create production lines on Ukrainian territory, with drones expected to serve both Ukrainian and the French army.
Although the information was not confirmed, the French Minister of Defense said that indeed a car manufacturer will be involved in the process. According to Sébastien Lecornu, the production will take place away from the front lines. However, its exact location will not be disclosed. Moreover, Lecornu emphasized that the assembly line would be handled by Ukrainians, saying that there is no need to send French citizens to work in Ukraine. According to the French minister, the move underscores France's growing support for Kyiv's defense industry and comes as Ukraine continues to grow its drone manufacturing capabilities.
And now to the United States, where dramatic video shows the moment an Australian television reporter was shot by a rubber bullet while filming live at the Los Angeles protests in the United States on Sunday. The 9 News Channel reporter Lauren Tomasi has paused after updating viewers on conditions at the demonstrations. An armed police officer dressed in full riot gear, who was stationed at a cordon behind Tomasi, then shot her with a rubber bullet. The non-lethal round hit the reporter in her left leg. Immigration authorities and demonstrators have clashed for the past 3 days after dozens were detained by federal immigration agents. Unrest in Los Angeles intensified over the weekend, with demonstrators blocking crucial roadways and setting cars on fire. The protests escalated after President Donald Trump announced that he would send in the National Guard to ensure security of the city. British media report separately that a UK photographer has undergone emergency surgery after he was hit by rubber bullets during the protests. Israel has intercepted a Gaza-bound ship carrying aid and prominent activists, including Greta Thunberg. After boarding the ship, Israeli authorities detained Thunberg and other activists and took them to Tel Aviv.
According to the non-governmental organization Freedom Flotilla Coalition, the vessel was attempting to deliver aid to Gaza despite an ongoing Israeli blockade. Apart from Greta Thunberg, on board the Madeleine ship were Game of Thrones actor Liam Cunningham and Rima Hassan, a French member of the European Parliament. Right after intercepting the vessel, the Israeli Foreign Ministry posted a video showing members of the crew sitting side by side in orange life jackets while soldiers hand them water and food. According to the ministry, the boat was attempting to stage a media provocation to gain publicity. The spokesperson for the ministry also claimed that there are always ways to deliver aid to the Gaza Strip, and they do not involve posting selfies to social media.
Robert Lewandowski's decision to leave the Polish national football team has sent shockwaves across the country. Among those commenting on the move of the Polish striker is the former president of the Polish Football Association, Zbigniew Boniek, and two of Lewandowski's former teammates. Boniek took to social media, writing that if he was still at the Polish Football Association's president, Lewandowski would still be playing in a shirt with the Polish eagle. At the same time, the former footballer wished the team good luck in their upcoming match against Finland. On the other hand, his former international colleagues Kamil Glik and Kamil Grosicki called taking away of the captain's armband from Lewandowski a good move. More information about Lewandowski's future with the Polish team will be known after 3:15 p.m. Central European Time. Polish Football Association will then hold a press conference with the team's coach, Michał Probierz, and his new hand-picked captain, Paweł Zieliński. And now on to some news for cat lovers. A Turkish TV channel has recently aired an exciting announcement about a cat named Layla, which lives in its studio, sharing the news nationwide that she recently gave birth to 5 kittens. Speaking live from the studio, the TV channel anchor called on the Turkish people to adopt the little kittens and provided a hotline number for adoption. Turkey is a country known for its unique cultural relationship with cats, their widespread presence and acceptance in public spaces. Even stray cats in the country are often cared for by local communities and have their own designated cat shelters. And with that, we conclude this edition of World News. Thank you all for joining us, and stay tuned for more here on TVP World.